quarterback Eli Manning.
Eli Manning was pretty familiar with the pressures that came with being a high-profile quarterback at Ole Miss. He was faced with the challenge of leading the Rebels to their first major bowl victory in 34 years, and his job was to outscore Oklahoma State's high-octane attack in the 68th Cotton Bowl Classic, and Manning delivered in a big way. He threw for 2 touchdowns in the first half after long drives through enemy territory. At the start of the quarter, he pushed the Rebels to a 31-14 lead with a quarterback sneak that wrapped up a 97-yard march. But the Cowboys were far from finished. They pulled within 3 points of the Rebels in the game's closing minutes, so Manning dug in and led his team on another time-consuming drive. This one covered 65 yards, chewed up the final 4:38 on the clock. It was a clutch performance by the Rebels and Eli Manning in particular. Ole Miss won a thriller, 31-28. And for his remarkable performance in 2004, we now honor Eli Manning with his induction into the Cotton Bowl Classic Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be a member of the 2023 Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame. All of you saw the video that listed the 85 members of the Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame, and to be associated with names like Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Sammy Ball, Joe Montana is one of the great honors in my life. But one of those guys that I'm most excited to be mentioned amongst is one of my fellow members here, Terrell Buckley, and I'll tell you why. Terrell is the recipient of my brother Peyton's very first interception in the NFL. And to top it off, he also caught his second interception in the NFL. Thank you, Terrell. The Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma State was my very last college football game that I played in. And winning that game is one of the great thrills of my life, but I have to be honest, that week didn't get off to a great start. At the banquet earlier, where both teams were at the event and all the sponsors and everybody's there, hundreds of tables in the event, they call up both the quarterbacks of the teams, of Ole Miss and Oklahoma State. Josh Fields was the quarterback of Oklahoma State, had a great season, went on to having a great Major League Baseball career. But Josh gets up and they do a raffle, and they draw out tickets, and 2 people are drawn up, and we are supposed to throw passes to them. So Josh goes first, someone stands up and about the 3rd table back from the stage, and he just throws a bullet right to the guy, hits it right in the chest, and they sit down. My ticket's drawn. He's about 20 tables back. He's an older gentleman. And I'm trying to make this pass, and I'm doing some math. I'm about 6 feet, raised and elevated. I'm dealing with a chandelier, and I'm thinking, I gotta still throw this bullet to this guy and put it right on him. And as I'm about to throw, I'm a little worried that this gentleman might be able to catch it or not, so I ease up on it, and I'm gonna throw it a little softer. Well, I sail this thing about 15 feet over his head. It hits a table. There are glasses flying. There's water going everywhere. There's wine spilling on people's dresses. So I was a little nervous about that, but we went on to win the game, and it all worked out. So when I got the call that I was being inducted into this year's Hall of Fame, my very first question was, do I have to throw any passes at the event? Well, I'm glad I don't have to do that. Thank you very much. God bless.
If it'll make you feel any better, a few years after that, Johnny Manziel came up to do it, and he was so over-caffeinated, I gave him the ball. I didn't even read the name on the card. He skipped it off 3 plates and hit a little old lady and I think knocked her down. I'm not sure. So you were fine. You were golden.